I want to start asking you, what do you think it's about? What do you think new metal, alternative rock metal is nowadays? Because we see a little bit of revival of late 90s, early 2000 years bands who are like all days
Yeah.
on festivals, touring again. What is your opinion about this?
Well, I think new metal music is basically hip hop grooves mixed with metal. So that's new metal to me. And alternative rock, alternative metal, it's like they say alternative because it's hard for them to put it in a box, you know? So they say alternative. So that it could be any, alternative rock is just not as metal as alternative metal. It's like kind of the same thing. A lot of the same kind of riffs, one is just a little bit harder than the other, and more screaming than the other. Alternative rock's probably more singing, alternative metal, singing and screaming, and then there's metal, hardcore, that's just screaming. So, I think, early metal was more straightforward, and then you had new metal, more hip hop. And then, as hip hop has evolved, so has new metal or alternative metal or whatever you want to call some of the new bands coming out now. I think they sound kind of like the pop artist The Weeknd and like the beats that The Weeknd has, but metal. That's like the new alternative metal or the new metal, whatever you want to call it. So that's kind of how I see it.
And do you think bands like you, we can see Orgy and, well, this new metal revolution in Mexico, who had, the big headliner like Korn and those bands, but the people wanna see Dope, wanna see Seven Dust, wanna see a lot of these bands who are beginning again to tour again, to come to Mexico, to Latin America, things that didn't happen before. So,
Yeah.
so what's about trap? What's the main reason you never been before in Mexico?
I think it just comes down to having a promoter that knows your agent and has the idea, because we don't know who we should call up, make that happen. So that our agent, he knows the promoter who's bringing us over to Mexico City, and they've been talking for a little bit, and this year was a perfect time to do it. So that's really how it comes about, just communicating. If that doesn't happen, then we don't come. But now that there's somebody who wants to bring us over, that's what's happening.
And for you, wasn't it strange that they never talked to you to come here or before?
Yeah, I mean, maybe just promoters of them in Mexico didn't know that there were a lot of fans in Mexico City, that really like trap. We have a lot of people that come from, northern Mexico who come watch us in El Paso, or like, a bunch of, or like Corpus Christi, or just a lot of the shows we've played in the States, in the South. People from Mexico have come to those shows, a lot. And we played at Eagle Pass last year. That was great. We played there twice now. This place right in Eagle Pass, and we have a few thousand fans in Mexico City, just like on Facebook. So I'm sure there's other platforms that have more trap fans. So we know that I've known that there's been a good amount of fans in Mexico City, but like I said, it's just a matter of connecting with the right person to bring us over.
Yeah, of course. Talking about your early days, I'm talking about Headstrong. That is like the biggest hit on platforms and everything. So it was a bit surprise for you, the success of this song, or you always believe on that song?
We always thought Headstrong was going to do well. It's a good song. We thought the label and the band thought the Echo was going to be a bigger song. I mean, that was all over MTV2 and radio and all that good stuff. So it's Still for Him, Stand Up, Who's Gonna Home Tonight, Contagious, a bunch of songs that we have. But yeah, Headstrong is just, that got the big bucks, the most money put behind it, promoting it than any other song, So that's part of the reason why people would know a song more than another song, is just how much money was spent, promoting that in different countries in the United States, So that was the song that the label would put the most effort into. And we're happy for it because it gave us a career,
And for you, is it the best song that you ever made, or do you have any special song that said, this is way better? Maybe it's
Well,
not so successful as that, but it's
when
better.
we do our acoustic stuff, we break everything down, play acoustic guitars and all that. Headstrong's like rarely the one that's most requested. So I think it's the most known. But as far as our biggest fans, they have a lot of other songs that they like better. At least that's what they tell us. So I mean, there's like Black Rose, Bleed Like Me, Echo. Who's Going Home Tonight, Contagious. There's a lot of songs that they ask for before Headstrong.
Well, now having this kind of success with a song maybe put some pressure later because the company want you to do the same over and over and over again. Maybe the same song with different lyrics, and maybe it's a pressure that you say, okay, no, we're not just that song. So does having this kind of success really change everything on the infrastructure on the structure of the band?
No, anytime you try and do something, like recreate something or just try to make a hit song or something, it never works. So we always just make songs. When we were on, we did 4 albums for 2 labels, 2 for Warner Brothers and 2 for a label called 11/7 that's now called Better Noise. But we would just make a album's worth of songs and let them pick what they want to go and promote, and if they didn't feel that we had the right song, they'd say, make some more songs. But they always do that, and then they end up picking something that you already made, way before. But, it's so nobody really knows what's going to be hit. So you just try to make songs that you love, that you as a band like. And usually that if you are truly honest with yourself and you really keep writing songs until you love them, your fans will probably feel the same way.
Sorry, on those days you feel the same, or you say that because you have grown up and see things different?
That I don't know. I mean, we never went into songwriting to try to do any certain type of song or whatever. It's just like whatever music was written, I just try to capture that with the lyrics, and so like I said, we just would make an album's worth of songs, and then would decide, the label would decide what they're going to put money into. But these days you can make songs before you even record the whole song. You can show people like little pieces of the song and get answers from your actual fans, and then what you should put your time into, and so the last 4 albums we've done has been independent. We don't have a label. We have our own label. So we've been doing that for the last 12 years. So, that's, we don't have to impress a label or get an answer or up or down. Either way, we just do what we want at this point.
Yeah. I'm just finishing those early days. So what was the show that you remember was the one who said, this is going to change our lives forever? Maybe a tour, maybe one show that you say, oh my God, this is really big leagues?
I don't know. I mean, it's like, it depends on, if you're doing a festival with a bunch of other bands or if it's your own headline show. I think that, you need to do a lot more than just one tour or one show to know if you are there to stay, and I think that really you have to wait till, they don't have this big label behind you anymore and you're still doing what you love to do. That's when you know that you're here to stay, because then nobody can take anything away from you. Once you're out on your own, and you're independent, So, it's like I would say, the last 10 years have really shown that, this is our career and there's nothing else that we're going to be doing,
Yeah, and that's great, because it's when you know that fans are there for you and not because there was a big money behind it, right?
Exactly.
So I'm talking about, for example, the fall. Why did you take an EP first and then the whole album, and not because it's your label, so you can.
Yeah. So when we were making the album, we would show clips of songs. We also would make the song and release it, and we did like we released new songs from like August of 2003 until we dropped the new album last May, or yeah, May 31st. And so we put out like 9 songs of the album, you know, before we even released it. So, you know, that's what you can do when you're independent, you know. So it's like we're at like, you know, I think 7-8 million streams, and we sold a few thousand of, you know, we sign albums, we send them out ourselves, you know, and you know, we've sold a few thousand mailing them out. We sold another few thousand at our shows, and we just keep doing that, you know. So we put out an album in 2020 called Shadow Work. We do the same thing with that. So, you know, and then you know, 100% of everything goes to us, you know, and you know, so it's the freedom is the best part of that, you know.
And did you still believe on making videos, like music videos? For example, you were on a last run of MTV. Let's be honest.
Yeah, we
No,
made
of the good MTV, right?
we made
Yeah,
like
no.
we made like 8 videos for the album, you know. So we would try to do an album or a video for most of the songs for sure. Yeah.
And do you feel it's better now with the YouTube against, for example, the MTV?
Yeah, I mean, you could make a video and spend all this money on it, and if it's just MTV, it may not even be seen by anybody, you know. So at least with YouTube, somebody, you know that there's going to be, you know, a few 100,000 people are going to watch it, you know, and so that makes it worth doing, you know. We're not trying to spend all this money on it, but we were able to make some good videos for a good price, you know.
You were talking about the Spotify and that you have to pay for being on the home recommendations playlist and everything like that. So
we don't. I mean,
I know you don't, but you were telling how is the business about.
Oh, I mean,
a little bit.
There's definitely people who take money to try and get you on playlists. So I don't think that the playlist that Spotify control, they just pick it. I think, I'm not sure. Maybe they take money. I don't know. I don't think so. But there's a lot of people with playlists that would charge, and we don't do that, you know. So because I think that people who do that end up putting songs that are maybe not that good, you know. They're just getting paid to do it, and it's not as real. So we just try to be real and try to, if you want to add us to playlists, and that's what they can do, and we don't try to pay for that, you know.
But we know that Spotify is go global and everything, but there's a lot of other bands trying to do the same, trying to keep us watch me, and not hearing and everything. But how could you compare this specific model of radio model against the Spotify?
You know, I mean, the radio really helped TRAPT, you know, in the 2000s. There's no doubt about that. But in the 2010s and now the 2020s, the internet started being a place where, you know, more and more the year would go by, more and more was listened to on streaming and less on the radio. So at this point, it's like, you know, we just get streams from people who have been fans of the band for over 20 years, you know, and been fans of the band for the last 10 years or whatever, whenever they discovered TRAPT. And, you know, it's not, we don't go after the radio anymore. The last time we spent money to get promoted to the radio was like 2016. So, you know, after 2016, you know, we decided better to put our money into just promoting our own shows. And when you promote your own show and you have an album that you're also promoting, you know, you can just do it all at once. You know, like go to our website, trapt.com, and buy some tickets and check out our new music. And we haven't really had to spend any money promoting new music. We just promote our shows. We try to put on our own shows as much as we can. And we try to do it all in one package. You know?
How hard it has been for you to be on social media? There's a lot of bands who cannot go there, but you work very well. You're having a great run with your acoustic promoting and everything. But how hard was, for example, these few days that TikTok goes down and everyone starts running around on fire, and the most of them was the one who make a run for it with money, like Logan Paul and everything like that. So how do you adapt, and is it really good or just it's very hard because you have a lot of haters goes
Well,
on there?
we're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Those are the big four. I mean, X is not really for music, more like, politics or stuff like that. But you know, I wish there was more than four, but there's four, and we have fans on all four platforms. So, we don't have a problem gaining followers or getting views from fans that are searching for the band, but a lot of our fans are just on the streaming apps, on Spotify or Apple Music or Amazon Music or YouTube Music, all that stuff. And we have 8 million people that listen to us every month, and so those people get to see when we're playing shows. They can buy
Mhm.
our merch and our music. So
But how do you deal with haters, for example?
you just try to either have fun with it, or. Block them. I mean, we try not to deal with people who don't like our opinions on things, or the way we see things or whatever. It's like if they care that much, then we're obviously doing something right. Yeah.
It's better to be named than not be named at all, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're up like 3 million listeners every month from 2020. We were at like 5 million across 5 different apps, music apps, and now we're at 8 million. So, that's almost doubling in 4 years. So it's pretty good.
Not going so deep on political things and everything, but how important is to have a political view inside the band, maybe personal or maybe the band in case of parties and everything nowadays, because rock and roll was established to be against to be the comfort zone,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, look at the early 70s. They were,
You could be
yeah.
right, you could be left, you could be whatever you
Well,
want to be.
I
But
think
how
it to
important is
me,
to have
it's about balance and truth. Like, so I don't really care about one side or the other on politics. I just don't like to hear lies. If I see people lying, it's hard for me not to say something, right? So, that's just kind of how I see it. It's just like, you want to be told the truth, and when you're not being told the truth, it's like you stand up against that, and so that's all Trap's ever done. And you know, I hope that we have a new era of truth in the world, going forward, because there's been a lot of deception and lying and all that, and it's not the right way to go about it. Being leaders, in any country. So.
And do you think when you started trap, this was similar to nowadays, or you have been grown up and you read more and everything, and maybe as a teenager you didn't see these things?
Oh yeah,
So
not at all. I mean, I just kind of, yeah. It's like you just think that everything you're being told is the truth, when you're young, and then you get older, you just how many more times can you be lied to before you say, I'm not gonna put any effort in, or any energy into listening to people who get caught lying to so much. So that's what you do. I think when you get older, you just become wiser, and not so naive.
yeah, and do you think what song of trap do you feel it's representing these days? For example, with this kind of thinking.
I think we have a song called "Sound Off" that we put out in 2010, and I think that pretty much sums up, the last few years, And so, and I've seen people sound off and just kind of let their voice be heard, and I'd like to see more of that.
And how hard is to have your political views and friendship and everything inside a band? Or do you think that a band who it is yours, of course, but you see it as my band with some employees, or we can build friendship with it?
It's everybody in our band has their views on things, and we're pretty solid on like the way we see things. Nobody really disagrees with each other. Like, we're not fighting on the bus about this stuff. So I think that we're all just common sense guys. We appreciate truth, and finding out who you are, and part of finding out who you are is how you feel about things around you. And so everybody's free to believe what they want, and if people disagree, we disagree. We don't get mad and angry at each other. We just disagree as gentlemen. And we talk about things because it's fun. And as soon as you start yelling and screaming at each other, it's not fun anymore. So we don't do that. So that's great.
Yeah, that's great. And we're just finished it. And these acoustic shows, you ask for requests, the people who likes. We know the hits, and everybody is gonna wanna hear it. But is there any surprise that you said, I can remember that song and people are asking for it, and okay, let's put it. But
Oh, sure. I mean, we have over 100 songs. So, I probably have like 30 that I got down so I could play it by myself, just acoustic, sing it, and not just play it, but play it good, because I'm not going to play it unless I can really nail it. So, there's definitely songs that I'm like, all right, I'm going to have to add that to the list. So the songs that are being, called out, that's how you go from playing 18 to 30, because people are calling out songs and you're like, that one I really gotta put that one to the top of the list because people are asking for it. So that's how we do it, and that makes it so that we know what people are going to want to hear at these shows. I mean, we're going to know the top 20 songs, the top 16, 17 songs, whatever that we're going to play that night. We're going to have a really good idea of what that crowd's going to want to hear because of doing these acoustic things, So when we come to Mexico City and do the full rock show, electric guitars, all that stuff on February 1st at the Fuck Off Room, love the name. We're going to know exactly, have a good idea of what people want to hear,
And did you know, well, for example, in Tennessee, they want to hear some songs, but when you're in Mexico for the first time, you gotta change. You can do that songs who are the number 7 of the second album. You gotta go with the full hits, or what do you do?
We're gonna play the songs that are most most requested by people that or that we have a lot of Mexican fans who come and watch these acoustics that I do, and that's when we ask, what are your favorite songs to our fans, and so we're gonna definitely play the top 16 songs. I probably play about 16 songs of the top 16 that our Mexican fans are gonna want to hear. We have a feel pretty strongly that we'll get that right.
That's the benefits of Spotify, for example, that you can watch.
Yeah, all of it together. Spotify, putting clips of songs on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, and just getting a whole idea between all of that, which didn't exist 20 years ago. You just had to go with one song, go to the radio, see if it worked, or get it on
go blind.
Get it on MTV, see if it worked, and so it's just a different thing now. You get to know exactly what your fans want to hear.
And any plans for recording one show of these acoustics?
Yeah, we like as far as like recording it like with a bunch of mics and everything, maybe, I don't know, but we try to record, take footage of all our shows so we can share it with people on social media. Yeah, for sure.